All right, so now we're looking at interior angles. And as I said in our previous video, there are some major shortcuts for calculating the interior angles of a polygon. So in the last video, we talked about diagonals. And if you recall, a diagonal is a line drawn from a particular angle to another angle that is not one of the sides. So how many diagonals does a triangle have? Well, if I draw a line here, that's a side. If I draw a line here, that's a side. So how many diagonals does a triangle have? 0 diagonals. All right, so let's look at a quadrilateral. Pick an angle, doesn't matter which one. So let's pick this one. Okay, if I draw a line here, that's a side. Line here is a side. The only angle I can connect it to is all the way across. So how many diagonals does a quadrilateral have? 1 diagonal. All right, next, a pentagon. Okay, so I've got an angle here. We'll just pick that one right there. I can connect it to this side and this side. So that gives me 2 diagonals for a pentagon. All right, next we got a hexagon. Pick a random side. Let's go with this one. How many diagonals can I draw? Well, I could draw one here, and one here. So how many diagonals do we have? We've got 3 diagonals. All right, I'm going to give you a couple other shapes, and I want to see if you can figure it out. All right, so let's say I have an 8-sided shape. I'm going to tell you that an 8-sided shape has 5 diagonals. All right, let's look at a 10-sided shape. I'm going to tell you that it has 7 diagonals. All right, let's say we have a 113-sided shape. It is going to have, make a prediction, 110 diagonals. So let's see if we can find a pattern here. 3-sided shape, no diagonals. 4-sided shape, 1. 5-sided shape, 2. 6-sided shape, 3. 8-sided shape, 5. 10-sided shape, 7. 113-sided shape, 10 diagonals. So notice, 3 minus 3 is 0. 4 minus 3 is 1. 5 minus 3 is 2. 6 minus 3 is 3. 8 minus 3 is 5. 10 minus 3 is 7. 113 minus 3 is 110. So we can come up with a rule. The number of diagonals for any sided shape is the number of sides minus 3. So the number of diagonals, take the number of sides, minus 3. All right, let's look and see if we can come up with a rule for the number of triangles that a certain shape will have. All right, 3-sided shape is a triangle. How many triangles does that make? 1. 4-sided shape. How many triangles do we have? 2. 5-sided shape. How many triangles does that have? 3. 6-sided shape. How many triangles? 4. 8-sided shape. Make a prediction here. How many triangles is it going to have? If you guessed 6, you guessed right. 10-sided shape. How many triangles is it going to have? 8. 113-sided shape. How many triangles will it have? 111. So the number of triangles is the number of sides minus 2. So there are 2 major shortcuts. Number of diagonals is the sides minus 3. Number of triangles is the sides minus 2. All right. So using that information, we can find the number of degrees of each interior angle in a regular shape. So let's just take a square or a quadrilateral. How many diagonals can we draw? Well, it's got 4 sides. So 4 minus 3 gives us 1 diagonal. How many triangles is that going to give us? 4 minus 2 gives us 1 triangle. So we've got 1 triangle for a 4-sided shape. Now, remember, the interior angles of a triangle add up to 180 degrees. We've got 2 triangles. Each one is 180 degrees. So 180 times 2 gives us 360 degrees. So the sum of the interior angles of this quadrilateral are 360 degrees. So let's figure out how much each angle measures. Well, there are 1, 2, 3, 4 angles in a quadrilateral. So on average, we take 360 divided by 4. 36 divided by 4 is 9. 0 divided by 4 is 0. Each interior angle averages 90 degrees. All right, let's revisit another shape. Let's look at a hexagon. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So a 6-sided shape. How many diagonals can we draw? 6 minus 3 gives us 3 diagonals. So how many triangles is that going to give us? 6 minus 2 gives us 4 triangles. So let's prove that. Pick an angle, draw your diagonals. So there is 1 diagonal, 2 diagonals, 3 diagonals. We've got 3 diagonals. How many triangles we have? 1, 2, 3, 4. So the sum of the interior angles is 4 times the number of degrees in a triangle, which is 180. 4 times 100 gives us 400. 4 times 80 gives us 320. Add those two together. The sum of the interior angles is 720 degrees. Now, how many angles did it take to make 720 degrees? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So to find the average of each interior angle, we'd take our total 720 divided by the number of angles, which was 6. So we take 720 divided by 6. 6 goes into 7 once. 6 goes into 12 twice. And 6 goes into 0 times. So each interior angle averages 120 degrees. So using your knowledge of triangles equaling 180 degrees, how many triangles can we split our shape into? How many angles makes up that shape? You can find the average interior angle.